For over 30 years, I've wandered the world not to chase postcards, but to collect truth. This isn't about sipping cocktails in luxury suites or ticking off tourist traps. This is about sitting on dusty roads with strangers who became friends, getting lost more times than I can count, and learning what really matters through failure, connection, and resilience. If you've ever asked yourself what life really teaches you after decades on the move, you're in the right place. I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to tell you the truth, the kind that comes from living fully, breaking often, and still choosing to rise. Maybe what I share will shift something in you. Maybe it'll make you pause. But I can promise this, you won't leave thinking the same way you came. My name's Brian. In my videos, you won't see my face here, not because I'm hiding anything, but because I want you to focus on the message, not the messenger. This channel isn't about me, it's about the stories and insights collected from a lifetime of learning. I've been on the road more years than I can count, slept in desert tents, eaten street food in cities you've never heard of, and sat in silence with people who didn't speak my language but still spoke to my soul. This wasn't a vacation, it was a mission to understand life, and more importantly, to understand myself. Many people told me that I wanted to run away from the real world when I was traveling, but what they didn't understand is that the so-called real world was exactly what I was chasing. Not the version with office walls and 9-to-5 routines, but the raw, unfiltered life happening in alleyways, in villages with no Wi-Fi, in conversations shared over campfires. I wasn't escaping, I was arriving. Arriving in places where people still look each other in the eyes, where time slows down enough for you to hear your own thoughts, and where the lessons hit deeper because they're not taught, they're lived. Before we get into it, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any updates from our channel. So let's dive into the life lessons that changed everything for me after traveling the world for 30 years. Lesson 1. No one really has it all together, and that's okay. People are constantly pressured to appear like they've got their life in order. Social media makes it worse. You scroll through photos of perfect vacations, flawless relationships, and careers that seem to take off effortlessly. But behind most of those polished images are stories of struggle, confusion, and self-doubt. I used to beat myself up for not being further along. Then I realized, no one actually has it all figured out. The people who look like they do, they're often the ones struggling the most behind closed doors. Life isn't a checklist. It's not about hitting milestones at a certain age. It's about growth, about falling apart and putting yourself back together, and sometimes about starting over more times than you thought you'd have to. Lesson 2. Time is the greatest teacher, but only if you listen. You can read every book in the world and attend every seminar, but none of it will mean anything until you've lived through your own mess. I didn't start to understand what really mattered until I was well into my 40s. Before that, I was chasing shadows, things I thought would make me happy, but didn't. Relationships taught me more than textbooks ever could. Failure was a better instructor than any professor. In time revealed the patterns. It showed me what I ignored, what I repeated, and what I needed to change. Wisdom doesn't come from just aging. It comes from paying attention to what life is trying to teach you. And the truth is, the lessons won't stop until you start listening. Lesson 3. Your worst moments often lead to your best ones. Some of the darkest chapters of my life turned out to be the ones that pushed me forward the most. Losing jobs, failed relationships, being broke in a foreign country with no backup plan, those moments felt like the end. But they weren't. They were the beginning of something new. It's like being a blade in a fire. It hurts, it breaks you, but it also shapes you. I used to think that avoiding pain was the goal. Now I know that pain is part of the process. It's what transforms you. If you're in the middle of something that feels unbearable right now, I promise, it's not the end of your story. It might just be the part where everything starts to change. Lesson 4. Comparison is a thief, and social media is its weapon. I wasted too many years measuring my life against others. It's like walking through a forest and comparing each tree's height. It makes no sense because every tree grows differently, depending on its soil, its weather, its roots. But try telling that to someone scrolling through highlight reels on Instagram. You see your friend buy a house, your cousin get married, some stranger become a millionaire by 25, and suddenly your own life feels like it's lagging behind. I had to learn, sometimes painfully, that comparison only robs you of the joy in your own path. Success doesn't have a timeline, and happiness isn't one size fits all. You're not behind. You're just on your own track. Focus on watering your own grass. It might take longer, but it'll grow stronger. Lesson 5. If you want a meaningful life, you've got to do hard things. Comfort feels good, but growth doesn't live there. The best parts of my life, the ones I'm proudest of, all started when I stepped into something uncomfortable. Whether it was quitting a stable job to chase a dream, learning a new language at 50, or apologizing when pride screamed at me not to, it all took guts. We're conditioned to chase ease, to avoid risk. But ease is a silent killer. It dulls your spirit. It numbs your ambition. Life has teeth. It's supposed to bite sometimes. That's how you know you're alive. If it feels hard, it probably matters. Lean into it. Lesson 6. Your identity isn't what you do. It's who you are. I spent years introducing myself by what I did. I work in X, or I've been to Y number of countries. But deep down, those were just masks I wore. The real me? That's the guy who listens more than he talks, who stays up late writing in journals, who helps someone in a market even when no one's watching. Travel stripped those masks off. In a new place, no one cares about your job title. No one asks how much you make. They see your kindness, your patience, your presence, and that's where I started discovering who I really was, beneath the labels. If your job disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? If you can answer that, you're closer to the truth than most. Lesson 7. Slow down. Life isn't a race. Everywhere I went, people were rushing to get rich, to fall in love, to make it before 30. I get it. I was that guy too. But when you spend enough time in countries where clocks move slower and meals last 3 hours, you realize something. We've been tricked into thinking faster is better. But rushing robs you of sunsets, of conversations, of the silence you need to hear your own thoughts. Some of the best moments I've ever had came when I slowed down. When I sat in a quiet alley with old men playing cards. When I listened instead of planning my next sentence. When I walked with no destination. Life isn't about crossing the finish line first. It's about noticing the wildflowers along the way. Lesson 8. Your circle will shrink. And that's a good thing. When I was younger, I thought being liked by everyone meant I was doing life right. I said yes to too many people, stayed in toxic friendships too long, and poured myself out trying to fit into spaces where I didn't belong. Over time, I realized not everyone is meant to go with you. As you grow, your values shift. Your energy becomes sacred, and you start craving depth over numbers. Today, my circle is small, but it's real. These are the people who show up when it's ugly, not just when it's fun. Don't be afraid to outgrow people. That's not cruelty, it's clarity. Your peace is worth protecting. Lesson 9. Healing doesn't happen by accident. There's no shortcut through pain. You can distract yourself with work, with travel, with noise, but eventually the hurt catches up. I've walked through grief, heartbreak, guilt, the kind that sits heavy on your chest and doesn't go away overnight. And the only thing that helped, sitting with it, giving it space, crying when I needed to, journaling through the mess, finding a therapist when the load felt too big. Healing is uncomfortable. It feels slow and inconvenient, but it's necessary, because if you don't deal with your pain, you'll bleed it onto people who didn't cut you. Take the time, do the work. Your future self will thank you. Lesson 10. Joy is found in the ordinary. After decades of traveling, you'd think the moments that stand out would be the big ones, the wonders of the world, the grand adventures. But no, what I remember most are the quiet, simple things. The smell of bread baking in a Moroccan alley. The laughter of a child tugging at my sleeve in a village in Laos. A sunrise I watched in silence from a rooftop in Bolivia. Joy isn't always loud. It doesn't always come with fireworks or fanfare. Sometimes it's a warm cup of tea and the sound of rain, or a smile from a stranger when you need it most. We chase happiness like it's hidden far away, but often it's right here, waiting for us to notice. So here we are, 10 lessons, one life, and 1,000 stories in between. I hope something in here spoke to you, whether you're 25 and feeling lost, or 45 and still figuring it out. I'm 65, and let me tell you, life doesn't get simpler, but it does get richer. You don't need to have it all together. You just need to keep going, keep growing, and keep learning from everything you go through. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Your experiences might help someone else make the right decision.